You know, it's a hard thing to say what gets something across the line. You know, at Protozoa, my company, we develop a lot of ideas, and it's sort of a marathon. Every single project's sort of running a marathon, and a lot of them don't make it. You know, but the ones that make it, it's generally because we keep going back to them and refueling them. And generally, what makes us go back to them is there's something in the kernel of the idea that is just that kind of pulls us back in, and I can't say what it is. Probably in this movie, you know, when we were doing the research into Swan Lake, and I remember meeting with this dancer, Julie Kent, the big New York City ballet, ABT dancer, and she was telling, I was like, well, what is it about Swan Lake? And she was saying, well, it's about a woman who's been captured by an evil magician and turned into this half swan, half human creature. And I was like, half swan, half human? It's a werewolf movie. And I was like, oh, wow, that's exciting, because, you know, no one's really done the werewolf movie, reinvented the werewolf movie in a long time. And I thought, well, this is interesting, a were-swan movie, and to take Natalie Portman and turn her into a creature. So I got very excited by that. That kept pulling me back, that kind of body transformation that was going to happen in the film. I think anytime people are taken into a world they've never seen before, it's interesting. I think, in Black Swan, we kind of go behind and we show people kind of what's happening in the ballet world. And I think it's interesting because when you just see ballet, for people who don't know anything about it, it doesn't look that hard at times. They work so hard to be effortless. But then when you do go backstage, and as we do with the camera, you start to see what's behind everything, the muscles, the sweat, the blood, the tears. There's unbelievable amount of work to make something look so perfect on stage, and it's incredibly unglamorous off stage. And that's we wanted to show that contrast.
Well, let's see, I had to lose 20 pounds in order to have my collarbone protrude, which my collarbone doesn't naturally protrude, and then get on point. So it was 7 days a week, 4 or 5 hours a day for a couple months.
We did a lot of like swimming and sort of weight training as well. And when I got to New York, I started working with Michelle Rodriguez a little bit too, who does gyrotonics, and she sort of was working specifically on my arms and getting everything open because there's such a specific posture and look. And sort of cross-training to try and make sure that I wouldn't get injured going into the stuff too quickly because it's so harsh on the body.
Your foot's out like a spider spinning a web. Attack it! Attack it! Come on!
I met Natalie for Black Swan about 8 years ago. It wasn't even called Black Swan back then. Didn't have a title. It was just, I had this starts of ideas for a ballet picture about a double, and something connected to Swan Lake, and it was very loose, and I knew it was a horror film, and it was going to be a sexy horror film, and she was interested, and we talked about it over the years, and I kind of never let her out of my head, so I definitely created for her. And then when we started to look for someone to play her rival, Lily, I had just seen Forgetting Sarah Marshall, and Mila Kunis was just, smoking in that film. So sexy, so beautiful, so free. But I didn't know if she would be right for it. And then Natalie suggested her. Natalie said, how about my friend Mila Kunis? I was like, oh, wow. And I kind of cast her on faith. I had never met her. In fact, I met her for the first time over iChat. I was here in London, and she was in LA, and we just had a little conversation, and that was it.
Good of you to join us.
Sorry.
Girls, this is Lily. Straight off the plane from San Francisco. She's filling Rebecca's old spot.
Hey.
Get warmed up.
No, it's okay. I'm good. He's one of the easiest directors I've ever had the pleasure of working with. I mean, we did some rehearsals, we chatted about the character, we discussed things, and then we went to work. And he was brilliant. I mean, really, the bottom line is I just had to trust him in whatever he told me to do. And I just went, okay. So he's very visual, he's a very strong director.
He has like that kind of shady and edgy visual taste and sense of humor and all that, but it's always playful. It can be dark, but it's never negative. There's something always very. It's full of life. It's full of humor.
is that?
Hey.
You know, I think we wanted to sort of make the world of Black Swan something very stylized, but also something very natural. You know, we kind of wanted to make people feel they were in a real world, but at times really entering a fantasy world. So it's a mixture of horror and genre.
Big day's getting closer and closer, huh? Well, I can't wait. I think you're gonna be amazing.
Thanks.